Inclusive education has been internationally recognised as a philosophy for attaining equity, justice and quality education for all children, and under the Disability Discrimination Act of 1992, inclusion is considered a legal right. The DDA seeks to eliminate discrimination against people with disabilities and protects them against discrimination in education. The DDA implements Australia's international human rights obligations under the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, as well as obligations relating to non-discrimination under other treaties, including the International Covenant on Civil Rights and Political Rights.
Teachers influence and control the classroom climate that supports the social and emotional well-being of all students. Teachers are bound by the Disability Standards for Education to ensure that they adopt pedagogies that aim to achieve an inclusive classroom and equal access to education for all. To create an inclusive classroom, teachers can refer to and use a range of different resources that can be utilised to make reasonable adjustments. One example of a resource that promotes inclusive education is a My Day chart. This is a personalised individual resource that can be fixed to the desk of each student. It is made up of a laminated base, as well as laminated pieces that can be moved and placed on the resource with Velcro dots. It is a resource that would be mostly suited to the early or middle years, but can be easily modified to be effective in all years. Each day, as the students enter the classroom and take their seats, they will observe their My Day chart, which is multidimensional and promotes several elements of inclusion.
At the top of the chart is written "Good morning" and then the student's name.
Immediately, this personalised greeting welcomes the students and gives a sense of belonging within the classroom, as well as a strengthened sense of identity, which encourages the students to recognise that they are valued within their classroom.
Also included is a feelings flower, which is a very significant element of the resource as it asks the students, "How are you feeling this morning?"
The flower contains petals, all of which are a different colour, and are labelled with a number from 1 to 7. Students will place the bee that accompanies the flowers on the petal that they believe represents how they are feeling. This is an opportunity for the students to engage in self-reflection at the start of each and every school day, which is a simple yet effective way for them to practice recognising their emotions, which, as highlighted within the general capabilities of the Australian curriculum under personal and social capabilities, is important as it encourages the development of self-awareness and self-management. Throughout the morning, the teacher can observe where the students have placed their bee, becoming aware of how the students are emotionally, considering this in their teaching throughout the day.
A visual schedule is at the centre of the resource. At the top is written, "Today you will be."
Again, this direct reference to the students personalises their interaction with the resource to help engage them in their learning. Students are informed of what their day is going to consist of and are therefore able to mentally prepare themselves for all tasks. The use of a visual schedule has been known to not only help students with specific disabilities gain equal access to learning, but is beneficial for all learners, as it is a part of everyone's learning and brings structure, routine and sequence into the classroom. The schedule helps reduce the levels of stress and anxiety within the students, as well as help manage behaviour, as they are given an outline of what is expected of them, promoting student engagement, cooperation and participation. As well as this, there is the opportunity for the teacher to implement adjustments for learning to specific students. This could be, rather than placing the reading group symbol to their timetable, the teacher could instead place "Reading with Miss Matthews," adjusting the lesson to the student whilst not excluding them by singling them out.
The final element of this resource is the thought pad.
This is a safe place where students are able to record anything that pops into their head for the duration of their learning day, making this resource a healthy outlet for students as they grow and develop their sense of self and identity.
This helps promote mental well-being and assists the students in becoming in touch with their emotions,
which will lead to the development of their social well-being as they interact with their peers. This element strengthens teacher-student relationships and complies with the Australian Professional Standards of Teaching, Know Your Students and How They Learn. The resource also allows for a connection with parents and carers, as they are able to come into the classroom at the beginning of each day and observe the My Day chart to see what the child will be doing. The teacher can also discuss with the parents how the student has interacted with the resource throughout the day. At the bottom of the chart is written, "See you tomorrow," a simple yet effective element as the students read this and feel a sense of accomplishment for finishing the day and know that their teacher is looking forward to seeing them for another successful day of learning tomorrow. This resource does include many elements that, although are complex in their purpose and value, are actually simple within the classroom. This means that the use of the My Day chart becomes a significant part of the student's routine and that they are constantly engaging with it, meaning the classroom is constantly promoting inclusion. Overall, this resource is just one example of the many ways teachers can promote inclusive education and is a way for the teacher to have a personal connection with all students without having to exclude any one student to do so. It promotes belonging, cooperation, strengthens relationships, and supports the social and emotional well-being of all students whilst considering and following policies and legislation.